Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited for having this opportunity to be here today. And sharing knowledge about the marketing strategy in Agribusiness 2024 with all of you. I am Umurerwa Shimo Yvette from Rwanda, a student currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in soil science at University of Rwanda, College of Agriculture, Food Science and Veterinary Medicine. I am also agri-scientist, a communication specialist, and genuinely want to live long learning. I am co-founder of Agri-Organic Farm Limited, serving as a general secretary, and also I'm proud fellow of Project Africa for Africa Fresh Bees Initiative. So today I would like to, as you see in the screen, my topic, I would like to discuss the importance of building a consumer trust through transparency as an effective marketing strategy in agribusiness. As you see here, I have highlighted three main points that is going to summarize my topic, and that is going to explain more about my topic. First is one, trust, competitive advantage, and transparency. Today, I would like to discuss this topic because before we dive into this open discussion, let me share with you some insights I got that induced me to choose this interesting topic. Well, we all know that several companies have successfully embraced transparency, and they have been example for other fellow. For instance, there is a company which is called Patagonia. Patagonia is a well-known outdoor clothing company that openly shares their information about its supply chain, about the environmental initiative and charitable contribution. So because this company chose to prioritize transparency, it has not only built the trust among its consumer base, but also has also attracted a loyal consumer to their business. So I am really truly interested in this topic of how we can build a consumer trust through transparency as marketing strategy we have to implement in our business, because I believe that building consumer trust is an essential thing for the long-term success of agribusiness industry. And I know that each company will achieve this by implementing the marketing strategies that prioritize transparency, where the consumer want to seek a detailed information about the production process and how their process goes into the value chain. So for this point, as you see here, the trust, it is the main point that is going to summarize my topic in that way, that the trust is a crucial factor. We all know that it is a crucial factor that every agribusiness needs to consider, because when in this day, consumer want to feel confident that the food they are buying are safe and align with their value. As we know that when the consumer trusts the brand, are more likely to remain loyal to the business. And also, they may recommend some of your product to the other because they feel confident, they trust your brand, and they may recommend your product to the others. And that time, they are willing to pay the product at premium price. So as you see here, the next is competitive advantage. The reason why we need to consider this transparency is that when we are learning your business and yet you are committed to provide detailed information about your production process, about the sourcing practices you are implementing in your farm. This will help you to build the reputation for the integrity and ethical business practices. So this is very, very imperative to put all those strategies in place when we say transparency in agribusiness, when we say about building trust among the consumer as the marketing strategy. This is imperative because when we put this strategy in the marketing space for giving your company a competitive edge in the market, and you have to make sure that you differentiate yourself from the competitors in the marketing place. So for now, if you want to create a sustainable and positive future for both of your business and the world at large, please consider the marketing strategies that build the foundation of trust. And this will help to withstand the challenge in the market. So that is what summarizes my topic. For the next slide, I would like to share what to be transparent about. If you are running your business, you may sometimes ask yourself what I must be transparent about within my chain of production. Whereas sometimes people think that performing transparency is only about providing information to the consumer. But the truth of fact is that it also concerns how you perform your activity from the sourcing to the final product. So here there are a number of things you need to know that every agribusinesses have to be transparent about so that they will be able to win the consumer trust. Those including this sourcing, the farming practices, the processing, and environmental impact. So from the many things you need to be transparent about, I have chosen to highlight these four main things you need to be transparent about. You don't have to share the information, only the information. You have to be transparent from the sourcing, where you are practicing your farming activities, and the process and all the chain that it goes through from the first step you are going to plant your crops to the final product. So the first and the foremost things you have to be transparent about is sourcing. If you are committed to build a sustainable business success, a transparency in your business sourcing is an essential thing to look at. Anyone here who want to build a sustainable business, if you want to achieve the long-term success of your business, make sure that during your operation, you are being transparency from the sourcing. So, and only way you can achieve this transparency is through the combination of different strategies, like engaging with the stakeholder to understand their priorities, and communication about the products are originally produced. Like if you are learning your business, you need to share the information, engage with the people, engage with the consumer, engage with the stakeholders, those who you deliver your product from the source to the final product. So I am pretty sure that the one who will consider these practices, they will position their business as a leader and responsible, and it will help you to differentiate your brand, the brand of your business, as well as building a lasting relationship with your consumer. So by doing the transparency about those issues, you will be able to show your consumer, the people who buy the product from your business, that you are committed to produce a safe and sustainable produced food, because you are willing to share the information about how it comes from. So the next what you need to be transparent about, as you see on the screen, is farming practices. As we know, nowadays consumers are really concerned about the origin and the practices behind the food they eat. So when you openly communicate the method you are using in your farm, the technologies and the sustainability efforts you are using in your farm. So if you want to win the consumer trust for your business success, you have to prioritize those strategies that will help to provide you a clear information on your farming practices, Like, for instance, if you are implementing like your product is 100% organically produced, please mention those information so that it will help in consumer purchasing decision based on their preference. If you are using the organic farming, if you are implementing the organic farming in your farm, you are just delivering the product which is organically produced 100%. You need to share those information to your consumer, to your partners, to your stakeholders, so that the people will get the best choice for their purchasing based on their preference. So not only sharing the farming practices, but also in the processing. In the processing, you have to outline, you have to make plan and outline the steps your product goes through after the harvesting, because there is many process that goes after the harvesting, including ingredients used, the machine used, as you see here. These people are just processing the wheat. You have to mention this. If it is minimal processing or emphasizing any aspect that goes through that, it will build the trust for your consumer so that the consumer will buy the food, your product. They make sure that they are buying the food that is safe because they know the origin of that food. So the last but not least about these point, these things you need to know to be transparent about within your business, within your value chain, is about the environmental impact. Yes, many people may and overlook about the environmental impact while they are operating in their farming practices or the other activities that goes through. If you want to achieve the success of your business, you want to make a lasting relationship with your consumers so that they become a loyal. Share the information and discuss your effort to reduce the water usage, minimize the carbon emission, and what are the methods you are implementing that are promoting the soil health. Mainly, the sustainability initiative you are implemented in your farming practices. Well, for the next, we need to know, why transparent performance in agribusiness. For now, first of all, we have to understand the landscape and something that need to change. For why transparent performance is in agribusiness is necessary. As you see here on the screen, first of all, there is a consumer awareness. As we all know that the traditional model of agribusiness communication, well, characterized by the opaque supply chain and minimum engagement between the consumer and the food producers. So after realizing that those engagement on both sides is no longer sufficient, consumers are now more informed and discerning than ever before. Consumers are aware about the product they are going to buy. They demand a greater visibility into where the food came and how it is produced. As you see on the screen, the consumer now are educated. They demand clear information about the food, about the product they are going to purchase. So the root cause behind the imperative for the transparency in agribusinesses lies in this. There is growing public concern. Public are concerned over the issues like the origin of their food, the farming practices, and the production processes that are used. That is goes from the farm to the final product, because the consumer nowadays want to make the informed choice on the product they are going to consume. As I always say, if you want to foster this strong relationship, if you want to gain a competitive edge, or you have to embrace the transparency as an essential strategy for your agribusinesses, because as you see here, the consumer are more likely to support the business that are transparent about their operation and align with the consumers' own priorities. Consumers now are more educated and they are concerned about the food they are going to consume than ever. That is why you need to perform the transparency in your agribusiness from the sourcing to the final product. So the next is the competitive pressure. This is the reason why you need to perform the transparency in your agribusinesses. I always say the consumer preference in this day are shifting according to the situation. So if you fail to adopt or to embrace the transparency in your business operation, you will be more likely to face the risk of losing marketing share to the other more competitive in the market. We all know that in the market, we have many competitors. We have the many competitors. We have the people who are producing the same product like in our business. That is why when you are committed to foster a transparency in your business operation, you will no longer facing the risk of losing marketing share or losing the consumer or getting some failure in your business. So from now on, make sure to prioritize these strategies as the key differentiator. The key differentiator as your uniqueness. That will allow you to stand out the crowded marketplace. Not only that, your business will retain the loyal customer base. So the last point on this, the last panel is about there is out of the main reasons that you have to be transparent in your agribusiness, including how consumers are now aware about the food they are going to consume, apart from how in the market we have many competitors, so that we have to prioritize the transparency as our key differentiator and uniqueness. There is also operational efficiency. When it comes to the operational efficiency, everyone here should directly get why these strategies is important, because everyone who learning the business, when you open share the information about your business operation, it's make sure that you correct all inefficiencies in the supply chain, because you get the feedback from the consumer. When you share the information about your value chain, about how the product is processed, you get the feedback from the consumer, so that it will help you to correct all inefficiencies that goes in the supply chain and also adapt to the changing of this marketing demand. Well, to the next, many people, there is transparency performance. This slide summarize how and in which way you can express or perform this strategy in your business to the consumer for them to make the informed choice about the product they are going to purchase and to consume. So you have seen there's three points about how you can perform the transparency. A strong transparency strategy should be expressed through truth, the honest, and the frankness. You do not only have to make the information available. You do not only have to share the information about the labeling only, but also you have to make sure that it is easily understood by the consumer. Make sure that the information you are providing to the consumer are well understood, because when you provide too much or too complex information, it may result to the negative reaction from the consumer. And this is true that when you look at in your growing agribusiness of today, when we look at on how the agribusiness in this day are growing, where the product move from the field to the table with many intermediate steps. There are many steps that goes through from the farming to the final product. There are many steps that goes through the intermediate. So when you establish the trust between the producers and consumer, this is the paramount. This is the sustainable way. So in this era, where the consumer are no longer satisfied with the simply knowing the brand of the product. They want to know the story behind the food they eat. They want to know the story behind the food they eat, the food they're going to consume. Being open and honest about your practices and the intermediate step that goes into your value chain. This is a good way you need to impress to attract the consumer who value ethical and sustainable food production. As I mentioned before, there's consumer awareness. Consumers are now educated. They want to know the stories behind the food they're going to consume. They want to know all the intermediate steps so that they'll make sure that they make the informed decision, they make the right choice on their purchasing. So this is why I have highlighted the 3 points you need to consider while you are performing your transparency. Make sure that you implement truth, honest, and frankness in how you are communicating your information to the consumer or the stakeholders you are working with. To the next, you may ask yourself why. Is transparency matter in agribusiness? For now, I have highlighted the 3 points that summarizes why transparency matter in agribusiness, why I have just brought this topic that is going to say about the transparency, building consumer trust through transparency in agribusiness. Whereas we know that the trust is a main factor in a business in this world, and once it is established, it automatically leads to the long-term consumer loyalty. As you see here, when you implement, when you are committed to provide, to open, communicate about the product you are producing, how it is produced, you are likely to earn the long-term consumer loyalty. So consumers are likely to buy, as you see here, they are likely to buy and stay loyal to the brand they trust. So when you being open and show your consumer that you have nothing to hide in your operation, from the sourcing to the final product, it fosters the sense of security in the purchasing decision, so that your consumer, the people who buy the product from your business, are likely to remain loyal to your business, and they will recommend some of your product to the other people. For the second point I want to share is brand authenticity. So transparency also, it fosters brand authenticity, as you see. As I always say from the above, transparency is the foundation on which trust is built, because when consumer knows that company is open with its practices, it is open in the about sharing the information, how they are farming their product, how they are processing their product, and share the information about intermediate step that goes into, they are more likely to trust the brand. And this transparency approach, it's enhanced the company's reputation, as you see here. In this world where information is readily available, business can't afford to hide behind. So those business who embrace the transparency are perceived as more authentic and responsible, which contributes to the positive public image. That is how the reputation comes in. So for the next, I'm going to share the strategies for implementing the transparency in agribusiness. So let's take a look at how to go about integrating the transparency as your marketing strategy in a practical way. You may ask yourself about how I have to be transparent about in a practical way, how I will do that, how you will implement the transparency while you are running your business. First of all, as you see here, I have highlighted how you have to be responsible. First and foremost, being responsible starts by clearly communicating your company's value. Your company's value, the mission, and the practices. For being responsive, the way you will do that, make sure that you try to engage with your consumer and be responsive to their questions and concerns. In that way, you get feedback for the consumer and use them to improve what's going wrong in your business. If you have gone to the market in your local community, you will find some consumer that are quizzing sellers. They really want to know about the food they are going to consume. So that is why you have to be responsible. Make sure that you are responsible about the questions and the concern of the consumer, so that you win the trust of the consumer. At that time, they will keep, and you will earn the loyal consumer in your business. So the next strategy we use is developing a clear plan. I have come up with developing a clear plan because here you need to implement a clear plan, the plan that will outline all the information you will disclose, how you will communicate the information. You have to make sure that the information you are providing to the consumer are easily understood. And you have to know that who will be responsible for the implementing that. Develop a plan in your business, in your value chain. Make sure that you have a clear plan about who will be responsible to implement or the activity that goes through in your value chain. So the next is using the social media as the strategies you're going to implement, you are going to use as implementing the transparency in your agribusinesses. So when you have to utilize the multiple communication channel. We all know that in this world there is many communication channel that you have to share your transparency message, like through the website, social media, even your packaging. You have to enumerate all about your product if you are committed to to the organically produced, you have to make sure that it is already written the package material. If you are committed to non-GMO product, you have to mention that so that it will help consumer to buy based on their preference. So the conclusion as the way forward, as I have highlighted above, the consumer trust is a crucial in agribusiness and in agribusiness industry. So transparency nowadays is no longer a choice, but a necessity in agribusiness. As we have seen before, it will help you for the agribusiness success, for the brand loyalty, and it will enable you to operate efficiently. So if you are learning your business, I advise you to implement the strategy that prioritizes transparency in your agribusinesses. Well, thank you so much. This is my presentation. I am Shimo Yvette Umurerwa. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge about this topic. Thank you.
What is the importance of transparency in agribusiness marketing?
The first of all, what I can share with you as a significance of the transparency, of embracing transparency in your agribusiness is that you will win the agribusiness success. Because as we know, when the business successful, it is power indicator that you have won the consumer trust. Because when company is thriving and growing, it is a signal that the business is providing the product and the services that are meeting the needs of its consumer. So another point is the brand loyalty. When you embrace the transparency in your agribusiness, it is true that the consumer are there to become a loyal to your brand, to your company. So it is really imperative to establish the trust between brand and the consumer, because the consumer requires more than providing exceptional product or services. So it is necessity to create a safe and transparent environment for your consumer. Or another significance I can share with you is about the operational efficiency, because as I always say, when your business demonstrates the ability to constantly deliver the product or the service in seamless, in a cost-effective and reliable manner, that time your consumer will know that your business is well managed and capable of meeting their need.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. But I have another question for you. What is the consequence of dishonesty in business? Okay, we are looking at agribusiness. Say maybe, for example, there are some businesses that also go about to dishonest way in their marketing, both in the story that they are telling their customer and the rest of that. What are the consequences of that? Why should people avoid that?
Thank you for the question. The more reason why people should avoid dishonesty in their company is because nowadays, as I said, the consumer are educated and aware. They want to they demand transparency from the business. They want to know the information from the sourcing to the final product, and all the intermediate step that goes from the farming practices to the final product. Consumer want to know the information about the food they are going to buy, the food they are going to consume, because they are aware. Nowadays, we know that the information are already available due to the communication channels, including social media, the website, the information are there. So when agribusiness or you are running your business and you are not able to be honest and sharing your information, being honest about your operation, it will it will lead to the negative feedback from your consumer. When the consumer gets the negative feedback from your business, it really indicates how your business is not operating efficiently. There is inefficient operation in your agribusiness. That is why in this time, in this era, today, as we know that the the consumer preference are shift accordingly. That is why we need to inhibit and reduce dishonest in our company, in our business we are learning, so that we will be able to win the consumer trust, and we'll be able to get the loyalty from our consumer, and also will gain to be the one who will be competitive in marketing age.
Thank you so much for that. Is there any other thing you want to say to conclude the conversation, maybe a message or a reflection?
Yes, there is.
Please go.
As we were talking about the marketing strategy in Agribusiness 2024, anyone who have attended or those who will follow this conversation on YouTube, we have to know that there isn't any other way your business can successful or your business can grow and thrive without just think about the strategies that we go through in your value chain, whether you are doing in processing, where you are doing from the farming activity, those activity that goes from the farm to the table. We have to know that we have to be strategic than before, because the traditional way where the information was where was characterized by the opaque information, we need to change our mindset and be strategic, have a good plan, and be responsive for our consumer, so that our business will keep thriving and grow more, so that to take our business to another level through the strategies we are going to implement. More specifically, for the strategies that will prioritize the transparency, being honest, and implement the truth within your operation, so that your operation will go smoothly and in an efficient way. Thank you so much.